One last question, then you can ask our favorite question. You said you're 60, 61, 62 from
62 in
Minnesota.
November.
You can choose whichever age. How does a man from Minnesota in his 60s decide that social media is important? Because you have a big social media, you have a big social media following, and you post quite frequently. It wakes me up a lot in the mornings. Why did social media become important for you?
Social media became important to me because I grew up in Minnesota. And I saw that in certain locations in the United States of America, specifically, as we called it in the Midwest or in the heartbeat of the United States of America, the shores, the beaches, we call them New York City, Los Angeles, the cities that have their own communities and their own cliques, did not include the rest of the United States of America. So to be in Architectural Digest, or to be in wallpaper, or to be in this cutting edge field of architecture. And I had the same discussion with Richard Meyer, and as they call them, they had a 5 architecture with an architectural critique who grew up in the same neighborhood and would critique their buildings and get them into the forefront. And the same thing in Los Angeles with Morphosis. I felt that a lot was left on the sidelines. And I felt that the printed matter is media that is incomplete media. Some people call it misleading, but I call it incomplete. Meaning it did not harvest all of the wheat in the field. And some of it was me and or my teachers and or my friends and or my inspirations in the Midwest. And so what I said is, I saw social media coming along, and I felt to be a great equalizer, in a sense that if I'm a great architect, forget Minnesota or Milwaukee, right? Forget that. Let's say I'm sitting in Vietnam, Cambodia. I'm sitting someplace in Eastern Europe, Ukraine. Nobody has even heard about me. I now have an ability to put myself out there for people to look at.
I call it the social passport.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like that.
It's the social
And that
passport.
is a great equalizer. Now, I happen to have a lot of work. I happen to be in a great location. People, when I moved to Florida, people said to me, why would you move to Florida? It's a third world country. It's a banana republic. That's what people really told me when I was working for Thayer Development doing the Marriott at Miami International Airport, where Bill Merritt was selling it to Thayer, which is the Pillsbury Doughboy. You know, he calls me up and he goes, Kobi, Bob wants me to go hard on buying the Marriott at the airport, and you're doing an expansion going to 900 rooms instead of 350 rooms. But you don't have the zoning approved yet, and there's environmental contamination, and FAA, and Florida is a banana republic, third world country. That's what they called us. Give me a gopher warranty. A gopher is it's the University of Minnesota mascot, golden gopher.
Okay.
So I'll give you a warranty. And he went hard, and he bought it. And I got him all the approvals, got the permit, and finished the construction. And comes along Bill Merritt, he's a short guy like me. And he said, after he stands up there, he says, I built this in the 70s. And people said that Miami is not going to go anywhere. And look at the expansion we have done here. And then he steps off the stage and he says, where's that architect with the name Cheese Fish, Kobi? And Carp Fish, So the lady who is assistant says, this is Kobi Karp. And we were setting up, I was in a shirt, not even a jacket. And he says, oh, thank you very much for expediting the matter with Mr. Pillsbury. I said, you're most welcome. He said, anything I can do for you? I said, I'd love to have a picture with you. So we took a picture, and one of the few pictures that Bill Merritt smiling, and I got it upstairs, and it's cool, That's kind of a life-changing element because it gives you a comprehensive understanding of what Miami is about. It gives you somebody who stood up and built the buildings. Then he sold the buildings. Somebody else took it upon them. And the expansion and the rooms that we added are not enough, and you need more, right? Mm-hmm. So that is where Florida is. As long as I've been here in Florida, it has it's part of the public record, it has a 1% growth on an annual basis. Where it used to be a bunch of, kids like me coming from the Midwest with no money, or a bunch of Cubans by boat from Havana that Fidel Castro let out, or people came across the border with no money, right? But here, now you have a population that has a growth of more than 1% on an annual basis with people who are highly educated with college degrees and money's in their pocket, with wanting to come here and build technology and research in medicine, genetics in Miami and in Florida more so than ever before. So it's a platform that will continue to grow. You know, you have Founders Fund who move their whole families and companies here.
Right.
You have people in Chicago who said, you know, screw it. Let me go back to Boca. That's where I came from, like Kenny Griffin, right? And his kids are smart and they're the next generation. And then you have, you know, people like Peter Thiel and the guys from Founders Fund and their husbands and their kids. They're here raising their families, right? And it's all the people that come along with them that goes along. And those are the high-profile ones. Can you imagine all the other ones that nobody knows about, that nobody's heard about? Companies that are here doing things that people will only find about in 5 to 10 years. Yeah. It's immense. And that's what, it's not just Miami or Fort Lauderdale or West Palm Beach. It's Sarasota. It's Tampa Bay. It's Hollywood, Hallandale.
What I got out of all this today is Kobe for governor.
No.
I mean, geez.
I'm not good enough to be in politics. I will not.
Well,
not yet.
I don't think you have to be that good at politics with what we have going on right now in the White House, but you never say never.
Exactly.
All right, Alvaro, you go, baby.
No, listen, I mean, what a wonderful conversation, and we could be speaking for hours. Now, there is one last question that we would love to ask all our guests, which is, what does level up mean to you?
Level up, to me, personally, means that when you get up in the morning and you open your eyes and you take your first breath, you say, thank you, God, for giving me my breath back and giving me my ability to be alive for one more day. That level up starts right there at that moment, because the other option is not a good option. And I think most of us here on this podcast and most of us here in this room would like to wake up tomorrow morning. Sometimes you don't. My mom went to sleep, never woke up. That's level up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Kobe.
Thank
We
you
love
for
you
everything.
very much. Amazing conversation.
That was
Thank you.
amazing.
You're a
Thank you
rock
so
star.
much.
Thank you. my
And good
friend.
luck on
Love
all
you.
your projects.